So this is episode 1 of Getting the Ute on the road. Now in this episode we're going to be focusing on mainly the roadworthy stuff that I can do here in the shed, and also transforming the interior into a place that isn't disgusting and smells like cat piss, which it currently does. I will admit there is one thing that I've done already, and that is pressure wash the motor. I'm going to be putting a bunch of nice new parts on here, and there's no point washing new parts. I want it to look good as well. So the things that we're going to be changing in the engine bay, we're going to be changing the serpentine belt, tensioner pulley, and the water pump. Now there's actually nothing wrong with the water pump. Because we're going this far, I'd like to do it as well. I'm going to be driving this car a lot, so I want to just make sure it's good. It's relatively inexpensive. As you can see, there's nothing left of the belt, and the tensioner has completely had it. Well, no surprise there. There is no coolant in this thing. It's all water. Well, so far, I think I've dropped every bolt that I needed. Oh. There's actually nothing wrong with these O-rings, but I do have a spare set in the shed, so we may as well change those while we're at it. We'll pull that out. Oh, there was a lot of oil there. So that is our old tensioner. That poor thing is ruined. Right, now between you and me, it's a fair bit of oil there. Now you notice that I'm probably taking a little bit less care than I do with my other cars, and that's because this is not going to be a resto. And the fact is, this car is already, I think it's too far gone to be a resto, but it's good enough that I still like this car. It's more akin to a daily driver, if I'm honest, than a restoration. I did forget to mention, but the other thing that we're going to be doing in the engine bay is rocker cover gaskets, but I haven't got them yet. So here's our new one, and we've just got to slide the old thing back through and just try and get that. And as you can see, there's a nice new O-ring. Okay, well, there wasn't really anything wrong with this one, but I didn't know that, and it's still good to replace it because I am going to be driving this car a lot. May as well do the very last thing that I can. That is an air filter. Now, probably doesn't even need this, but they are so cheap. Why not, right? Look at that. New one definitely doesn't hurt. Just in case you're wondering, we have a GMB water pump. Trying to squeeze the absolute last out of this tube. I've just cut the end off. Okay, the water pump is all on, back together and looking good. Now just got to put the pulley back on, put the other stuff back on the tensioner, and then the belt, and then it'll be good as new. Nice new O-ring there. You'll notice that this motor doesn't have air conditioning, and it's a bit annoying because not only have they obviously bought a shorter belt, but they've got rid of the bracket and the idler that goes with it. So I've had no choice, since I'm on such short notice, than to just get a new belt to suit non-aircon. This poor motor hasn't looked like this for a long, long time, I can promise you that. I know people say they're a heat soak and all this stuff, but you know what? It's a stock Ecotec. Does it really matter? Just while we're here as well, I do have my little battery clamp. It's crazy to think that this thing works so well, but in terms of roadworthy, we're pretty much done in the engine bay. New water pumps and new pulleys. It's had a big wash. It's got some new bits on it, and it is looking much, much better. And also, do you prefer the engine cover off or on? I actually think I prefer it on. Well, there's no other word for this interior. It is absolutely diabolical. It is disgusting in here. We're not restoring it or anything like that, but I'm going to just throw these seats in the bin, get some new ones, steam clean the carpet, just give it a good wipe down, vacuum, and tidy up. Oh, I just broke the clock. Fuck's sake. As you can see, the interior is absolutely disgusting, but it already smells better in here without those old seats. And our new seats actually are out of a VS Acclaim. They don't match this interior perfectly, but They were cheap and they're in good nick, and they do still suit the sort of VS theme in here. So we're going to vacuum this, steam clean it, and sort of leave it over the next few days. Tell you what, guys, that is infinitely cleaner, and it might not look it on camera, but in person, it's honestly so different. And again, we're not looking for a full resto here. We're just looking to clean it up, and it smells so much better in here, honestly. I can actually drive this thing now. So these are the seats that are going in the ute. I'm really happy with these. They're in really good nick, and I think they're out of a VS Acclaim. One of the really painful things about doing this is you have to use an Allen key on the bolt, and it just takes like 45 minutes to put it in. So I'm probably not going to show you me actually putting them in, because I have to watch a YouTube video or listen to something, because it is mind-numbingly boring. So you're not missing out on much, I promise you that. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this series. I've really liked working on this car, and it's just bringing back a lot of memories of back in the day when I was just a young P-plater loving his VS here. And yeah, brings back a lot of memories, this car, and it's going to be exciting to be driving it pretty often again. Just letting it idle so I can get all the bubbles out. Alright, well, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this series, because I certainly have enjoyed working on this car. Now, the rest of the roadworthy stuff I'm probably going to leave to the mechanic. It might be a few weeks before this is on the channel again, but while I can do the other stuff, I would much rather pay a mechanic, just because I still work full time. It's just hard to race between mechanics and getting this all done. I'd rather just drop it at a shop, and even if it costs me a bit more, I'm happy with that. So that's where we're going to leave this, I think. If you guys like these kind of videos, please follow along, subscribe. There's definitely going to be more of this. I'm going to be roadworthying the white van Commodore next, and that is really, really exciting. I'm really happy to get that on the road, although I don't think it's going to need anywhere near what this one does. And I also am driving other people's cars and working on my own, and just living and breathing everything cars. So that sounds like something you're interested in. Please follow along, subscribe, and thank you for watching.